What's up, Internet? It's the dumbass, Panic Ghost Gaming, and we're playing Pokemon Scarlet again. We're going to keep on working on shiny hunting Iron Moth, and then if we get that quick, I have no idea what I'm going to do. First, let me do this. Alright, so first save, because I had to actually go heal real quick. I forgot to do that. Also, I finally, right before I hit record, I actually moved these into their own box now, so I have a full box of shinies, or a full 2 rows of shinies. Not even close to a full box. What the hell am I talking about? Okay. Sandwich. So for this, again, we did fire, right? Yeah. So 2 red peppers, onions, and then the regulars. Last of our Herba Mystica in this save. I did that again, god damn it. I don't know why I've been doing that occasionally. It doesn't make like any sense to do. One of our last, are these the silver picks or the red picks? I forget. I think the ones that I bought are the silvers, right? That was not very close, and it bounced a long ways. That was weird. Okay. The physics in this game, not always the best. Though, to be fair, I mean, that happens pretty much every time I do these sandwiches. And it hasn't caused an issue yet, which is nice. Though, I think it might have been the last sandwich I made on the last stream. I did just about fail. Because the ingredients really wanted to run away on me. Oh, there we go. Onions. Get rid of the top bun. We don't need it. Alrighty. And away we go. So yeah, we're going down to Research Station 1, and then we're just going to do the same thing that we did with the last stream. So the new Typhlosion raids dropped today. They seem kind of difficult, but also it seems like Infernate? Annihilate, that's what it is. I couldn't remember what the name of it was. Annihilate seems to be the way to go again. The same strat as with Samurott as well. Just screech once and then Rage Fist with the Shell Bell until you win. Though I have seen it seems like it doesn't always work super well, but I think tomorrow we're just going to spend the whole day grinding that. I probably could have done it tonight, but I just figured, like, it's fine. Okay, yes, they are spawning. I mean, honestly, if this was, like, super fast tonight, somehow, maybe I would, but... Or maybe I would just switch over and do that. But then I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, so that's kind of why I didn't want to do that. But we'll see. But with how hard these are to see if they're shiny, I have a pretty good feeling we're going to miss a couple of shinies that do spawn. Eventually I'll fix those drop-in cards. Part of the problem is I just have no motivation to go get a new Koraidon right now. I'm really just waiting on Pokemon Home to be updated, so that way I can either try to trade my extra Miraidon that I got stuck with because of a trade. Once again, my own fault. Not even my own fault. I knew that there was a risk that the other person would just keep my Koraidon and not trade it back. I just wish they hadn't done that, because it kind of makes it a pain in the ass for me. But yeah, when Pokemon Home updates, we'll look to see, you know, if we can trade the extra Miraidon easily. And if not, then I'll just play through the game again. Because I'll be able to just, like, set up a team for it, for clearing the game really fast. I'll probably actually keep that team in my Pokemon Home as well afterwards, just for future use. Yeah, then we'll just... Or it'll be multiple teams, because we'll set one up for, like, each kind of level cap when you do the gyms. And then we'll just blitz through that playthrough real quick. I'm not sure if I'll do that on stream. Only because it would be me playing through Scarlet again. But it might be a thing where, like, I set up... Like, do a stream where I set up the teams, and then do a stream where I just, like, actually try and play through it. See if we can do that in one sitting. Probably not, because my streams are usually too short for that. I think even with a team planned, I'm not going to be able to knock that out in 2 or 3 hours. But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I'll keep that team set up so that way if for some reason I need to or want to play through Scarlet and Violet again, I can just have my team ready to blitz through it. Though realistically, if I was going to, like, as like a casual playthrough, want to play through them again, I would probably just, like, play them normally. And unless, like, a save gets corrupted or something, I don't really have a reason to, you know, like, have another profile set up for any real reason, other than, again, for my Koraidon. Although, who knows, maybe if they, introduce, like, multiple, legendaries to choose from in the DLC, kind of like how you can only choose one form of, Urshifu per playthrough, and you can only choose between, one of the 2 horses that Calyrex rides on per playthrough. So they aren't version exclusive, but I might need to do that. Or if, I mean, there's no, like, Violet or Scarlet exclusives necessarily. So, like, if it's the same with the legendaries, basically, for this batch of DLC, then I might be able to skip out on buying 2 copies of the same DLC for the 2 copies of the same game that I already own. So that might be a good reason to have those teams set up, but we'll see. Because in theory, once Pokemon Home is updated, right? And when they add the Pokemon as DLC, if I remember correctly, how it worked with Sword and Shield was that as soon as the DLC was out, any, like, not new, but returning Pokemon were instantly transferable. And probably any just new Pokemon in general, because there's not really much there. But even if it, like, takes a couple of days, I don't know. But yeah, any, like, version exclusives that would be, like, you know, let's say, like, Larvitar and Bagon in this game. Once Pokemon Home is updated, that doesn't really matter, because I can just transfer over the ones that I need to breed. I don't have to worry about necessarily doing them in the DLC. And I mean, $30, you know, obviously it's not nothing, but in the grand scheme of how much time I spend in these games, spending another $30 on top of the like 150 I'll already be at with the DLC and and the games, it's, you know, it's really not really a big difference. But, you know, maybe let's not encourage Game Freak's nonsense too much. But again, we don't know what the DLC is going to be like. And it could be something where, like, if we get Dynamax Ventures or some sort of analog to that again, then, like those, there were legendaries that were exclusive to one version or the other. You could do them online, but, like, say if you were playing with someone who had, if you had Sword and you were playing with someone who had Shield, if they were hosting, you could get the Shield legendaries and catch them. Which is cool. That's a good way to do it, for sure. But, you know, who knows how the DLC is going to be with that stuff. But yeah, anyways, if it's like that again, then I might have to pick up both copies of the DLC anyways. But we got a long time before we even really start hearing information about that stuff, besides, like, the very basic amount that they announced. I don't think we'll see anything about the DLCs until, like, August, honestly. Since it was confirmed that, you know, the DLC, the first one will be fall and the second one will be winter. And being that, the home update was supposed to be spring, and we're, you know, kind of getting pretty deep into spring here before that's coming out. So I think we'll honestly see, like, the first DLC in, like, October, and then the second one in December. But maybe not. I don't know. I have a feeling that second DLC is going to get delayed. I don't know. Not, like, much, but probably to, like, January or February of next year. Because that's going to be a pretty quick turnaround time from one DLC to the other. And, I mean, being with how long it's taking for them to update Pokemon Home, I can't imagine the actual DLC is going to be faster. Granted, Pokemon Home's on Ilka, but still. I mean, plus, this game has plenty of issues that could use to be ironed out. Of course, the problem with Pokemon being such a massive franchise is that they can't really delay stuff too much, because they already have merchandise and cards and stuff, you know, planning and it going into manufacturing, and then, okay, so, like, you don't want to ship it out to stores yet because the game hasn't added it yet, but also, like, you know, you don't want to just keep it in a warehouse. And also, I mean, I don't know. It's just, like, it's a mess with that stuff. But I feel like with DLC, they have a little bit more breathing room with that. Because it's not like we got, you know, trading card sets within a week of the DLC coming out with Sword and Shield. I don't think we did anyways. I don't pay that much attention to the trading card game. How much time are we at already? God, we've already burned through 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully DLC is good. First, though, we need, like, updates to the base game and Pokemon Home. Like, as in, we do know those are coming. Not even just like, oh, yeah, the game needs this totally before the DLC comes out. They absolutely can't release a DLC. Yes, they can. They released this game in a barely functioning state in terms of frame rate and even stability. I mean, people had crashes with it. I think I've had it crash once. Generally, I will say I have pretty good luck about that. Like, Legends Arceus, I only had crash when I got into the post-game, as in, like, shiny hunting post-game, so all the legendaries and stuff caught. And yeah, and it was only one area, though I suspect it was that was a common theme with the crashes. The goddamn ice lands. But yeah, it wasn't until I was doing the resets for Hisu and Zorua that I had any crashing issues. And plenty of other people had crashing issues, even like on stream and stuff. Now, maybe they were overstated, but I don't... It wasn't like, you know, a non-existent issue that people blew out of proportion. It was a decently big issue that maybe was exaggerated a little bit. But again, like, you know, plenty of streamers and stuff had it happen during their playthroughs and whatnot. Yeah, we do know there's an update at the end of this month, actually, so we should be getting info about that pretty soon. Or maybe not. I don't know if they released additional info about the one that came out in February before it dropped. Like, they announced it like a month ahead of a time. Yeah, I don't know if we have any idea what's in there. I forget even what the wording on it was. I do remember it didn't specifically say anything about the save glitch. It's causing, you know, causes some saves to get at least currently bricked until whenever the next update is, and then we'll find out if they're recoverable, hopefully. Yeah, it also is interesting, so with the new Typhlosion raids, those are going on this weekend and next weekend. And next weekend is going to be like, what, around the 21st-ish? Just like adding 7 to the current date. So after that, I wonder if we'll either get like another kind of weird event raid, or like a different type of event raid like we had with Pikachu, and then that'll lead into the next like update or whatever, kind of like how they did with this, where we had or with the first time where we had Pikachu, and then on the day that on the day of Pokemon Day, we got the update, and it included the paradox forms of Virizion and Suicune. What was it? Walking Wake and Iron Leaves, I think. It was something like that. But yeah, there is some theory that we'll see that again. It's also a theory that maybe that's when they'll drop Pokemon Home support, or add it new home support. I guess dropping support kind of already has like a meaning, but because with the end of the Typhlosion raid, that means the last 3 raids we've gotten have been all of the Pokemon that had Hisuian form, or all the Hisuian starters, because we had Decidueye, then Samurott, then Typhlosion. And we know an update is coming at the end of this month, or, you know, by the end of this month. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like it'd be a good time to do that. So I wonder if they'll announce that after, you know, like Pokemon Home support is coming at the end of the month after this raid event, or I don't know. Because they didn't give us any sort of date. In fact, they really didn't even give us any sort of time frame for the Pokemon Home update with Pokemon Day, which really sucked. Where are we at? Halfway through. Like, is that it? No, damn. A lot of people, myself included, were really expecting that they were just going to shadow drop the Pokemon Home update on Pokemon Day. And instead, all we got is, yeah, it's still coming. Don't worry about it. I'll be here eventually. It's like, okay, thanks, guys. They might have said something like in the coming weeks, but, like, that's so non-committal. I mean, by, you know, December is in the coming weeks. Just a lot more weeks than any normal person would consider that term to be inclusive of. But again, we're working on Game Freak language here. But yeah, it'd be nice if we got the update at the end of this month. I'm just not going to expect anything. We got burned with Legends Arceus and BDSP support taking so long, and we kind of excused it as like, oh yeah, well, because of the, you know, the weird way that stats worked in Legends Arceus, and they made it so that it's fully compatible with swapping Pokemon in and out. You know, as long as they're in the decks for Arceus, you can swap them in and out freely. It's not like with Let's Go where it had you can't swap it into Let's Go if it didn't originally come from Let's Go or the phone game Go. But with Legends Arceus, it's just like, yeah, it doesn't matter where the Pokemon came from. It can go over, which was nice. So we kind of excused it a little bit, but now we've had another obnoxious delay for these games. So it's like, well, is it like actually an issue going on there, or is it just they're like intentionally holding it back because they're stupid? I don't know. Because, like, I'm sure some people will do this, but there aren't going to be many people who picked up Scarlet and Violet and then will pay for Pokemon Home subscription before Home supports Scarlet and Violet. Some people will do that just because they're like, oh yeah, I can transfer to Pokemon Home, not realizing that hasn't been enabled yet. And you know, some people might just do it preemptively anyways, just to have it done because they don't care. But most people aren't going to do that, you know? So it's just like, Game Freak, you're literally just costing yourselves money here. What are we doing? But it does kind of worry me. Because I forget when Pokemon Home was updated for, Legends Arceus and BDSP. We'll not think about BDSP in this because, one, BDSP, and two, it seemed obvious they wanted to just have the update out for both those games at the same time, so like, whatever. That one's a weird situation. We don't have that situation with this one where we had two very different games come out within a couple months of each other. But yeah, because it was like at least 5 months for the Legends Arceus update, right? And so I'm like thinking about it, like, yeah, is like 5 or 6 months going to be the new normal instead of like the 3 months before with Pokemon Bank? Or even, I mean, we had that with Sword and Shield too, right? It was only a couple months. And that was, they had to launch, well, they didn't have to, but they decided to because, again, Game Freak and the Pokemon Company. But they had to launch the new app for it because they couldn't just use Bank. Granted, I guess Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee took, you know, much longer to be supported. They took over a year, but But I don't know that anyone really expected that game to even be supported at all with that stuff, so... Yeah, I don't know. It's just... It sucks that we still don't have that, man. It just doesn't... There's no excuse for it. But there's no excuse for a lot of Game Freak's antics, so... Here I am, still having spent $120 on 2 copies of effectively the exact same game. Good job, me. I'm really showing Game Freak. It's like... It almost feels like I can't complain about it when I am definitely enabling the problem, but also, like... I do have a reason for buying both copies of the game. And I hadn't planned on doing it. It wasn't until, we kind of realized that Paradox forms weren't going to be breedable. I kind of went, oh, well, I guess I have to buy both copies then. Or not have to, but, you know, there was actually any reason to, if I wanted to shiny hunt. Which is most of what I play these games for, you know? Gotta get those differently colored Pokemon. God, I hate how often I will see one of these from, like, the side or behind. And so I can't really see the red at all. And it's like, oh, is that it? Is that it? Is that it? Spoiler alert, none of them have been it so far. Yeah. Oh, so, Pokemon Stadium got released to NSO 2 days ago? So we'll be streaming that on Saturday, because tomorrow I'm going to do the Typhlosion raids. I do need to set up, like, a, not a randomizer in the sense of, like, how you would do it with the Pokemon ROMs, but there's the rental randomizer that people do in Stadium and Stadium 2, where basically using only the rental Pokemon, you just randomize what 6 Pokemon are in your team, and then you try to beat the gym leader castle or whatever. You don't have to beat it all with one team, but basically you get as far as you can with one team, and then when you get knocked out, you shuffle again, get a new team, and then continue from there. Though you do lose a little bit of progress. Basically, each, you have to, like, start at the beginning of the gym that you failed in. So I might do that a little bit. Maybe just see how far in I can get with that, with just, like, one random team. Depending on how good or bad the team is. The thing with the rental Pokemon in Stadium is they kind of tried to balance the Pokemon, even like the not fully evolved Pokemon, where, for instance, Charmander will have like Flamethrower, and Charizard will have Ember. I don't know off the top of my head if those are like actually their moves, but like they'll do stuff like that where they'll give the stronger Pokemon a weaker move and the weaker Pokemon stronger moves. So there's some Pokemon that like are really good for it because they actually have like decent stats and decent moves, and there's some Pokemon that are very not good. So we'll see what we can do with that. Should be fun. But yeah, we'll do that on Saturday. And that'll only be like probably an hour, hour and a half stream, something like that. Like I typically do for my NSO streams. I know I didn't do one last week. I planned on doing Pokemon Snap. I decided I really just wanted to go in on shiny hunting. And eventually we'll get back to Alolan Raichu as well. I might pick up a Alolan Raichu again next, like, Wednesday or something. But we'll see with that one. That being, that hunt being in Let's Go Eevee. Because, yeah, I got Raichu, Marowak, and then Rattata and Raticate. All of those being, Alolan forms for those. And those are the only Pokemon I still have to hunt for in Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu, but I never bought Let's Go Pikachu. Actually, one of the Pokemon that I was scared was going to have to buy Pikachu for was Alolan Grimer and Alolan Muck. Because until this game and it getting home support, that was pretty much the only way to get the Alolan forms in a Switch game. Grimer and Muck are obviously in BDSP, but you can't get regional forms in BDSP. It's only the original forms as they would have been in Gen 4. But yeah, I do need to double check, see if Rattata at the very yeah, if Rattata is in the DLC stuff that's already been data mined. We don't know for sure, but based on how things happened with, like, how data was updated in Sword and Shield when the DLC was announced, and then how the exact same updates kind of happened with Scarlet and Violet, we have a really strong idea of what Pokemon will be in the DLC at some point. We don't know which DLC will be which, but yeah, I need to check that and see if Rattata is in that. Because if it is, I can breed Alolan Rattata, much like I'm going to do with, like, Alolan Meowth and Alolan Grimer. But the thing with Raichu and Marowak is the only way to get those, and oh, what's the name of it? Alolan Executor as well, but I got lucky and got one of those in Pokemon Go. There's no way, because those Pokemon, so, like, Alolan Raichu evolves from just regular Pikachu. Same with Marowak and how it evolves from Cubone, and same with Executor and how it evolves from Execute. So because of that, their evolution requirement is just that the evolution to get the Alolan form, it just has to be in Alola, which is a problem because this game doesn't take place in Alola. Same with Sword and Shield, takes place in Galar. Oh, I think we're done. Yep, that's a shame. Oh, I didn't realize Iron Hands floated around. Interesting. Alright. Back out. Let's try it again. But yeah, so because, like, there's no way to get those evolutions outside of the Alola games, the only other way to do it is by doing the in-game trades in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. It is possible, and I really hope they do this, that they'll add somewhere in the DLCs that, like, basically will act like a Alola or a Hisui. So that way we can get, like, those regional exclusive evolutions. But they haven't done it before, so we don't know if they will. It'd be weird if they don't eventually. But, again, Game Freak. Right. We'll just try this again. I think I should get this tonight. I'm probably going to do 3 or 4 of these sandwiches. But yeah, like, I'm not surprised this is taking a little while. We are at 1 in 1,000 odds. And yeah, I mean, it's not even just possible, but likely a shiny has spawned, and I just didn't see it either because it spawned too far away and I moved away from it before I could actually see if it was shiny, or just, you know, I just looked at it, thought it wasn't shiny, but didn't notice that it was completely silver. So this is going to be a hunt that takes a little bit, but that's okay. Onions. That really sucks. Okay. It's been a little bit since I failed a sandwich. The only thing that sucks about this one is it's like a lot of peppers. And it's like too many to stack them evenly, I think. Maybe we can, actually, if I don't do it stupid. Because, well, we put down 4 out of the 12 that we have, so we should still have 8 more. I don't know. Because you could just, like, stack them, like, straight up, and then you'll have a little bit more breathing room there. But trying to, like, get the stack right on top of them, like, doing 3 or 4 high, potentially, is a lot. And mostly I've been pretty good about doing these. Hell, I mean, that one wasn't even the pepper that I had the issue with. It was the onion I placed too close to the edge and it just slid off. Maybe what I should do here, let's try this method real quick. We'll start it the same. You know, place 4 of these down. And we'll put our meat on top. So we basically have a flat surface again. And then we'll do like another 4 across, right? We can stack them a little bit. That's not the end of the world. And then put our onions like right here. And we can kind of stack the peppers on top of the onions. This could work. Feeling good about this. I love how I said it's like going to be kind of difficult to stack stuff directly, like straight up, and then I did exactly that with the onions. It might fall off when I do this. Pin you right there. Now I can't move. Wow, that is very close, I feel like, to falling off. But hey, I'll take it. Another successful sandwich. I think successful. I don't think anything fell off. Again, the pepper got real close, but hardly the end of the world. Hey, what's up, Chad? Welcome back in. No luck yet today, but we've only done 1 more sandwich. But I'm hopeful we can get this tonight. Try to get this tonight. Get our Mightiest Mark Typhlosion. Also, interesting thing about the Typhlosion, it's actually possible to have the mini mark on it, so it can be actually like the smallest possible size, which is interesting. Usually they can't do that. There's been one other one that we've been able to do that with, that you could get the jumbo mark on. But, yeah, I don't know why they chose to do that. Actually, hold on a second. I'm suspending this because I want to look it up real quick. Was the last one that we had that with the last one before Pikachu? Oh, hey, there's another distribution going on. If you enter codes, you can get like rare candies and shit. Not really a whole lot. Anyways. Let's see, because it was Charizard, Cinderace, Greninja. And then, yeah, we had Pikachu. So was it Greninja could have... God, I'm not gonna get that deep into looking it up. But was it Greninja that actually had, like, the largest marking? The jumbo mark? Because if it was, that kind of further confirms that Typhlosion is the last major raid before the... Well, we basically know that's going to be the case, but we might actually... The update might be something more substantial than just bug fixes, which would be great. Hope they give us more free shinies. The only one I've gotten so far was Clefairy on Sword. We'll see. Typically when it is like a shiny through a distribution like that, it'll be like because they like it was used on a tournament winning team or something like that. Like my my shiny Amoonguss was exactly like that, where I was on the team that won some a regional or national tournament, and so they gave it out. There seems to usually be like one a month of those as well, just from the various tournaments around, you know, the world. Remember in Sword, I was a lot more, or I guess just last gen, I was a lot more active in like getting all of those. Not just like the shiny ones, but the just any of the event Pokemon, because I was like, oh yeah, these, you know, maybe for some reason, you know, years down the line, someone will need one of these and I can trade them. But then, like this gen, I've just decided that I don't care. Realistically, there's going to be so many like extras of those because there's going to be people who actually like create, you know, 5 profiles and then collect those Pokemon from each copy of the game as well for each code. So it's just like, I don't care enough. If it's not shiny or something like really unique, then I don't care. Yeah, hopefully we get more like that, more shinies. That's always nice, just like, oh hey, free shiny. Kind of like the basically free shiny Ponyta from every time you play Legends Arceus, or every time you do a new playthrough of Legends Arceus. That was so cool if they did that, because it was just like a smart thing to like introduce it, you know, the fact that like shinies are a thing to people who haven't, you know, played much Pokemon, or even if they have played a lot, just like super casually, and it's just not been a thing that they care about. Shiny was great. I ended up getting a shiny Alpha Ponyta later on though, and ended up evolving it. Yeah. Since I was already playing through the game twice anyways to get the other form of Enamorus, I wasn't too worried about shiny hunting Ponyta at all. Plus I figured honestly it might be faster to create a new save and just do it that way, so then, you know, shiny hunting it properly. Alright. Come on, Iron Moth. I would definitely like to get this tonight. Just so I can have a plan for my my streams moving forward. I think I got sidetracked when I was talking about it. So yeah, tomorrow will be Typhlosion. Saturday will be Pokemon Stadium. And then Sunday, assuming we get this, we'll be starting up breeding, finally. As much as it's going to be kind of a pain in the ass to do, because that's going to be a lot of manually, well, not a whole lot, actually. I keep on getting myself confused with that, because it's like, oh yeah, it's going to be a lot of manually releasing Pokemon, and it will be, but also, like, it's not like I'll have to manually release hundreds, because I'll just be able to reset if I don't get a shiny in a group of eggs. But it's still going to be releasing, like, probably, you know, 60 Pokemon once I do get the shiny. But I think that's a worthwhile trade-off. But yeah, and then next week we get back into try and get our Alolan Raichu. And that'll just be like a once-a-week thing, because it's 1 in 4,000 odds. I can't do that as a regular thing. That's part of what burnt me out so bad with, okay, hope that wasn't a shiny. Oh wait, is it? Oh, I think it was far enough away that maybe? I'm pretty sure that's not. No, I can see from up here. Yeah, with my Registeel. Partially, I thought that it was 1 in 1366 odds because I was under the impression that Shiny Charm affected it. And then I found out after I started that hunt that Shiny Charm did not affect it. So that killed my enthusiasm for that hunt. When I realized, like, oh, hey, I'm not, like, you know, at well over double odds. I'm at, like, under odds still. Oh. But also, just trying to do so much of that hunt, just it killed my enthusiasm for it. And then also, like, with how good shiny hunting was in Legends Arceus, and yeah, it's just, I have to go back to it at some point. I'm just kind of hesitant on it. Well, so the thing is, right, we have a pretty good idea from the data mines that the Regis will not be in this gen. Or at least these games of this generation, even with the DLC. So, you know, if we do get another, like, whatchamacallit? Another Dynamax Adventures type thing. Or again, just something that's similar that makes it possible to shiny hunt all the past legendaries, or a lot of the past legendaries. We won't have Regis in that, so yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do there, because my only options for that are BDSP, and I don't know why the Regis weren't in Legends Arceus. That's so weird still. But I guess legendaries were shiny locked in Legends Arceus anyways, so that wouldn't help me. But yeah, BDSP and Sword and Shield. And BDSP is even worse than Sword and Shield. It's still 1 in 4,000, but you have to do resets every single time. Which, you know, a bit of a problem. Not ideal. Especially in BDSP, where the loading screens are... Whew, well, especially the, like, main startup load is just, like, awful. But yeah, we'll go back to Registeel at some point. Suicune, I don't know. Because Suicune, we, again, if there is a Dynamax Adventures analog of some sort, Suicune will probably be in that, and at least even if I'm just as displeased by whatever the new version would be as I am with the old version, and the Sword and Shield Dynamax Adventures, I would still rather do that in the newer game. And same with pretty much all the legendaries that are in that. But I don't know. I'm kind of like in no hurry on the legendaries. Because other than like stuff that's like, hey, this shiny Pokemon was part of a championship team. Typically when we get shiny Pokemon as a distribution, it's going to be a legendary. Usually it's a newer legendary, like we saw with Sword and Shield. We got, eventually, we got the cover Pokemon, as well as Eternatus. And then before that, we had gotten, I forget the name of it. It was the monkey thing that's kind of like, the name's kind of like Zoroark, but it's not Zoroark. I don't think. But it was the one that was like a mythic or a legendary from Gen 7. That was like, that we got as a shiny event. Actually from Isle of Armor. That was a really cool way they did that shiny too. So they added event raids for that Pokemon. I wish I could remember like the actual name and how to pronounce it. I always get it mixed up with the Zorua line. Like I know it's not part of that line, but the name itself I get mixed up. But yeah, so basically there was event raids, and you couldn't catch it in the event raids. Zeraora. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. So you couldn't catch it in those raids. But basically the community had a goal that like over a weekend, they had to defeat it 1,000,000 times. So, you know, everyone in the community cumulatively had to do 1,000,000. And then as long as you participated in at least one of those, you got a free shiny of it sent to you through Pokemon Home, which was like a really cool way to do that, because it's like it's a community event, you know, so kind of had to work together. I mean, you could do it, I think you just had to be online, but you didn't have to be like playing with other people. You could do it with AI, and it was easy enough to do. But yeah, you know, you actually participate in an event and you get a shiny. Unlike a lot of them where it's, here's the code, or hey, go to a GameStop and get a code. Which I hate. So I would love to see something else like that again. But yeah, I imagine we'll get probably shiny Urshifu. If they do a similar pattern, we'll probably get a shiny Urshifu. Probably, honestly, sometime this summer. Either sometime this summer or like right kind of with the release of the first DLC. And then... And again, I have no idea what that would look like. If it would be an event or just a code distribution from GameStop or something like that. But yeah, get those. And then I don't know when they would do like the Calrix and the horses. I'm not sure if we'll ever see shiny Cubfu, to be honest. Which sucks, but I feel like they've kind of established with Cosmog and Cosmome, I think are what they are. The unevolved forms of the Gen 7 legendaries. Being that those are still shiny locked, but you could get Lunala and Solgaleo from Dynamax Adventures as shinies, so I don't know. Hopefully you can get a shiny Cubfu. Actually, it'd be kind of really nice if they gave a shiny Cubfu, and then this game will have some way to evolve the Cubfu. And then I can try and get multiple codes for it, so that way I can have my Cubfu and my Urshifu. Because that's what I did with Zacian and Zamazenta. I wasn't sure if when they did that distribution, it wasn't like clear how many of the two you're getting. Because it was basically if you redeemed it in Sword, you got Zamazenta shiny, and if you redeemed it in Shield, you got Zacian shiny. And it wasn't clear if like you got multiple codes and so you could redeem it in both, or if you just got one code and whichever game you redeemed it in is the game that, you know, where you redeemed it, and that was it. So I actually used multiple emails and got a couple of those codes, which then ended up not even being necessary because they just gave out 2 codes, one for each game. I just want to be part of some event. I feel very left out since I'm so late to Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, that's one of my biggest gripes with Mythic Pokemon. The fact that, oh, hey, this is a time-locked thing, and, oh, you started playing the game a year again? Guess you don't get to have this Pokemon. It's like, okay, thanks, guys. It's this guy again. God, how annoying. I hate this guy named Baines. Hey, what up, Baines? Welcome back. We have for time. Oh, wow, we're already 2/3 of the way through this one. But yeah, I really wish they would stop doing, like, Mythics. They won't, ever, because I'm sure places like GameStop pay them money to have those codes because it gets you in the door, right? Am I tonight? I'm doing okay. We're still working on Iron Moths. We're on our second sandwich of the night. Still no luck. One of those looked a little different. It was probably just a side profile and the light reflecting weird. Yeah, hopefully we can get this night. But otherwise I'm doing pretty well. Today was a pretty chill day for me in terms of work. Two sandwiches down. Yeah, well, we got 10 minutes left on the second sandwich. So that would mean we're... How many did we do last night? 2 as well, I think. So we're, what, on our 4th, technically? But again, I kind of expected this one to take a while. Even besides being stuck at 1 in 1,000 odds, it's also just... The way this one works is... makes it very easy to miss them because of the coloring. And then also, just how they can spawn and, like, spawn behind you as you're running away from it. So you'll, like, not even realize that you despawned the shiny. Was it 2? I thought we did 3. Maybe we did. It was 2 or 3. I think it was only 2, though. Maybe we did do 3. Yeah, how many did Treads take? I think Treads only took 1, right? So maybe I did do 3. Anyways, we've done a few sandwiches. But, you know, we'll get it eventually. Would really like to get it tonight, though. Because knowing my luck, what'll happen is I won't get it tonight. And then, like, 5 minutes into Sunday's stream, I'll get it. And I'll be like, okay, cool. Thanks. Guess I'll just pivot in the middle of the stream. Knock on wood, don't jinx yourself. Well, I mean, hey, at least then I'm guaranteeing myself the shiny at some point here. I won't really be too upset about it. I'll just be like, God damn it. I should probably make sure before that stream that I have my counter actually set up. for when I do breeding. I would. It's a waste of time. I mean, I don't go into shiny hunting expecting this to be the most time-efficient process. So I'm not too worried about it. And again, I'm not expecting this one to be super quick, so it would only be annoying in that, like, on stream I have to, like, adjust what I'm doing because I would start doing a completely different type of hunt. But yeah, typically with when I do egg hunts, I actually have a counter on screen showing how many eggs I've gone through. I don't really do that for these types of hunts because, I mean, I'm not going to, like, count every single Pokemon that's on screen. That would be a huge waste of time. Yeah, it's fun to do that for the egg hunts, though. Just so you can actually see how lucky or unlucky you've been. I feel like my my last couple in Sword and Shield were not great. Actually, maybe it wasn't the last couple, but when I was doing all my Galarian forms, I had some pretty rough luck in there. I think Galarian Corsola was like over 1,300, and the odds were 1 in 500. So yeah, some of those were not great. I think Fione as well in BDSP, that was another one that took forever. But yeah, I had like 3 or 4 in Sword and Shield that just like in a row that were just kind of went either a little bit over odds or way over odds. And it was when I was kind of really pushing to try and have all my Galarian forms shiny before these games came out. That was a little bit... Is that it? Hey! Ho! Hallelujah, we got it. You've been looking at getting the Scarlet and Violet OLED? Nice. That's a damn good looking, damn good looking Switch. Okay. First things first. Quick ball. Up. First sandwich too. Yeah. Yeah, first sandwich that I used on this save file. Just, you know, ignore me, God damn, I've had such bad luck with the quick ball doing that. Yeah, just ignore that I've reset the save a few times, but, you know, this is the first time that I've saved with the sandwich. Pokemon. Can I paralyze this? I might be able to paralyze it. Although I don't have... Oh, I do have this set up. But yeah, we'll T-Wave it, because I prefer T-Wave as opposed to, Spore. And it does have a chance to miss, but, like, I don't know. I just prefer having the status stick, and I don't ever have to reset it. Okay. And now... we've not caught one of these yet. Go figure. Where are we at? I was turn 3, right? So this would be 4. Number 5. Hey, there we go. We actually got it in an Ultra Ball. Wow. All right. Hell yes. So that's all the Paradox Pokemon. I have all the Paradox Pokemon as shinies. Not all on this save, but the others are all in Scarlet. Let me just look around real quick. See if I can see anything else that might be shiny. I will say that definitely stuck out a little bit more than I expected, so I'm not as worried about having missed one. But I might have like just not seen it because it spawned behind me. But it's awesome. Okay, so I think what I will do from here is for the rest of the night, let me go ahead and I'm gonna go work on the Treasures of Ruin. I haven't actually gotten those on this save. So this is going to be a little bit awkward because I have to like hop between the actually wait, we have a steel type we don't have very much left on it though, right? Let me check my sandwich real quick. If I only have a couple minutes left, I'm not gonna, yeah, it's not worth it. Oh, fire anyways, so yeah. Okay, let me pull up Sarah B. So yeah, I have to go get all the steaks for this, which really sucks. Okay, we'll just start from the top with this. You have a brand new Lian Li 011 dynamic Razer case. What would I recommend for a motherboard? That, I mean, first that depends on what CPU you're even thinking about. And then, yeah, there's a lot of factors go into that. Definitely go with something name brand. I've heard some not great things with the Asus motherboards, right? Like their top of the line motherboards, but those are like the very expensive ones. Like the Hero and the Maximus and stuff, I've been hearing about a lot of issues with. But I mean, besides that, just basically look at the specs and does it have the features that you need, then like, go for it. I will say with, especially with AMD boards, you can get like the B series boards and they'll do 99% of what anyone really needs. You lean towards MSI. Yeah, I mean, just get something name brand. Something that looks reliable. Generally, you know, if it has some sort of kind of heat sinks around the CPU socket for the VRM, for the power stuff, that's a good indicator that it's probably using quality stuff. But it's not like a perfect indicator. Must be an upgrade for your current PC, which is over 7 years old. Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what you're looking at for CPUs, because, like, you know, if you're already gonna go full, you know, all out on, like, the i9 or the what, 7950X3D is the top of the line for AMD, although actually not for gaming, because the 7800 3D is actually a little bit better for that. Those 3D chips, or at least for the 7950 and the 7900 are kind of weird. But yeah, I would just say basically, because I think 011D is supports full ATX, right? I think it technically can support up to eATX, but there isn't really a good standard for that. And also it like technically supports it, but not really. Okay, where's the steak? There it is. 7900. So the yeah, the AMD Ryzen 7 7900 X3D. I would not recommend that one at all. Get the 7950 X3D, or if you're just caring about gaming, and again, these are if you have the budget for it. The 7800 X3D is the best gaming CPU, at least for AMD. I think Intel's like top of the line might be a little bit better in some cases, but that thing is an insane, like you need a really beefy cooler to really get the best out of that one. Purely gaming. So yeah, I mean, pretty much the best you're going to do for that then is the A&D 7800X3D, specifically the 3D one that just came out. I think it's like $450 or something, because there's like a not 3D version that's like a few months older. Budget isn't an issue. Then yeah, definitely get that one, because it has the 3D V-Cache, which is really good for gaming. And unlike the 7950X 3D, they aren't doing some weird things with like some of the cores having access to that V-Cache or the 3D V-Cache, and some of them not having that. So it's a better gaming CPU. And if you are gonna do that, I mean, you don't need to go full crazy with the motherboards. I mean, there's what I think the MSI has. I think it's an EATX, which you won't really fit in that case anyways. But there's like the Godlike, which has a godlike price because it's like fucking $1,500 fucking dollars. But like, there's not really a reason to do that, because that's just not. That board would basically be only if you're trying to do some pretty like high-end overclocking, but you can't even really overclock the 3D CPUs. So it's, and I mean, you know, at that point you're looking at like full crazy custom water cooling and stuff like that. And even that, I don't think you need those crazy expensive ones. Those might even be more for like, you know, liquid nitrogen type cooling stuff, where you're not really using the computer, you're just trying to set high scores. You don't trust custom water cooling systems. I mean, as long as you build it yourself and you like make sure that it's not leaking before you start the computer, they're perfectly fine. But yeah, they're honestly, nowadays, for most stuff, there's not really a reason to go crazy with the like custom water cooling for performance anyways. For looks, definitely. But yeah, just get like a really good all-in-one liquid cooler. I want to say the Arctic cooling one is like the best one on the market right now, but I mean, pretty much all of those are going to be good. The Corsair's good. You know, pretty much all of those. But definitely want to go crazy with it. You know, get like, I think, is the O11D support? I would have to assume that thing has support for a triple rad cooler. Can I just fast travel over here? I should do that. But definitely get one of the better ones, and it might be worth looking into like getting better fans for it. But then also like, how flashy do you want to do it? Because like the Lian Li fans are really cool looking, but also expensive and are just a little touch behind like Noctua fans and stuff. What cooler am I referring to from Arctic? I'm not sure, like model name or stuff off the top of my head. Whichever one is like a the 360 rad, so the triple fan radiator. They might actually have one that's a 420 because it's a 3 140 millimeter fans, but I don't know if that would fit in that case off the top of my head. Okay, let's see here. Oh, it is up here. I have to go across the water. Is it over here? You can double check. Yeah, I mean, realistically, again, if you're not really overclocking, you know, you're not going to get into too much crazy stuff, especially with gaming. So any reputable cooler will probably work just fine. If it's at least like a double radiator and, again, like a known brand. So like Corsair, Arctic. I know EVGA actually, now that they don't make graphics cards anymore, they're like really trying to diversify. I think they actually have a cooler now too. I don't know if it's great, but it's also a thing where it's EVGA, so it's probably not going to be bad. And it should have a pretty ballin' warranty on it too, because EVGA was always like one of the best about that with graphics cards. Where is this? Oh, it's right here. That's why I couldn't find this. It's also just outside their wheelhouse, though. Yeah, but one of my things, my thinking with that is that all of those brands, the pumps are almost all of them, but definitely pretty much all of the big names. The pump inside of it is licensed from another company because they have a patent on like the pump that's kind of inside the CPU part of it, I believe. And it's just easier for them to license the technology than to try and develop it themselves. And I'm sure EVGA is the same. And then, I mean, from there, it's basically just like, you know, the radiator, which is, who knows, but again, it's EVGA. They have experience with cooling and stuff, not necessarily in that way. And then fans on it, which, granted, I'm sure the EVGA fans maybe aren't the best. I wouldn't be surprised by that, because it's not like Noctua fans on it, but you're usually a Corsair supporter. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with Corsair. And again, you aren't like doing crazy overclocking. You basically can't overclock the 7800 X3D. There's like some little stuff you can do, but you're really locked down on it. In fact, if anything, you actually want to go into the settings and kind of turn some things down, and those CPUs run a lot better if you like force it to kind of use less power, so that way it actually ends up producing less heat, but also can hit higher clock speeds. Oh god, this one, it's in this nonsense. But yeah, I've not been as big on Corsair recently. Underclock it to overclock. Yeah, like the new ones, basically they try and, you know, boost on their own, kind of. Well, I mean, a lot of CPUs do that, right? Because they have their base clock, but then they also have their turbo frequency or whatever. But the goal is like to keep it at that turbo frequency as long as possible. But yeah, there's some just like little motherboard stuff. It's like you don't even really have to play with it. You just basically, there's like one setting, and a lot of the good motherboards will have a like just presets, and those will just end up performing better, which is interesting for sure. All right, I think this is the last stake for this one. I'm not even sure which one this is, because honestly, I don't have the names for these things memorized at all, because I don't care about them. But yeah, I think the non-3D CPUs, for AMD at least, will go up to 95 degrees Celsius before they start throttling at all. And the 3D cache ones will actually go up to like 80, like 7 or something like that. But again, that's like a synthetic workload where you're hitting it full bore, which you're not really going to do with games, which is part of why liquid coolers are so good for games. Because honestly, like, the Noctua cooler, the like double tower one that comes with 2 fans, that it's just an air cooler, that is honestly, like, in terms of sound and performance, as good or even better than some of those like liquid coolers. But that's in a sustained load, whereas with in games where you're going to be having some peaks and some lulls, kind of, right? it can actually be better to just have the thermal kind of mass headroom, so that way like the water can heat up a little bit, and then, you know, when it's when you're not hitting it as hard, then it'll have time to get back down a little bit and stuff. But also, I mean, you know, it's hard to go wrong with the look of the look of a liquid cooler. Though the blacked out Noctua does have a pretty intimidating look to it. I've been out of date with PC parts for a while, so it's interesting to see or to hear what works. Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff is kind of the same. There is some weird stuff because, like, AMD, you have some of those CPUs, some have 3D cache and some don't, or like some of the cores. And then Intel, you have performance and efficiency cores, so like they aren't all the same cores in the same CPU anymore, which is a little interesting. Yeah, we'll save again. Okay, which one is this one? Tinglu. Dark ground. Okay, so definitely don't bring Magnezone. Yeah, because I can't. Okay. Make you leader. I think this one would still be fine if I just upgrade the memory. I mean, for a lot of stuff, honestly, it might be. What do you have for CPU and GPU? I know you said 7 years old, so the GPU is probably, if it's the same one, you definitely would get a big performance boost from a new GPU. But honestly, like, if you had a pretty good CPU to begin with, it might just be fine for games still. Especially if you're not playing stuff that's super CPU intensive. Like strategy games, you know, you'll have some issues, but... GTX 970. Hey, wow, first try. GTX 970 and a i7 4790. I mean, those are definitely both dated. Definitely the GPU is more of a concern. You could always try, like, upgrading the GPU, and then if you're, like, getting bottlenecks, at least more than you would like, then you can consider the new platform then. Or, I mean, you could just go for it, too, if you really don't care, because that is a little bit dated of a CPU. Okay, so we got that one. Let me save real quick. Although one issue you might have with memory on that is I'm pretty sure that's DDR3 RAM, and there's probably plenty of that on like eBay, but you're not going to be able to find much new stuff, I don't think. Okay, I don't know why I saved twice there, but all right, next one, Chien Pao. All right, so I think first one is like just below, or actually I think it's kind of like in the town over here. Yeah, because it's like back here somewhere. Not wrong on that. Maybe she's building a new one. Yeah, I mean, you can look first. Again, like, worst case scenario, if you already have, like, a GPU in mind. Like, if you're going, whichever one you kind of have in mind for it. Because, like, obviously, 4090 is a little bit outlandish. But, especially if you're not doing, like, or even considering 4K. But then again, like, the 4080 is... NVIDIA has its issues. Like, they're... On their own, they're good GPUs, but, like, there's definitely some concerns with how NVIDIA is running shit in the market. And actually, AMD is a really good choice right now. I wouldn't really recommend Intel. Like, I'm glad that the Alchemist GPUs exist. I'm glad they're going forward with the next couple of generations as well. They've already confirmed that. But, like, the drivers are still not perfect. And it's just like, God, where even is this? Oh, is that it right there? That might be it right there. Hey, perfect. Okay. But yeah, honestly, like the top of the line AMD's new GPUs are pretty damn good. I know AMD used to have the reputation of like bad drivers, which is fair. I mean, I had an RX 480 and I had occasional issues with that, but also that GPU lasted me a long time. What's up, Rotzel? Welcome into the stream. It's a weird comment that I'm not sure how to respond to, but welcome in. Appreciate having you here. Alright, have a good night, man. Thanks for coming in. Chill music. Yeah, it's Harris Heller. Stream Beats by Harris Heller, that is. So it's all like copyright free music. Or DMCA free music, or whatever, you know, term you want to use for it. Yeah, it's great stuff for like streamers and stuff. You're torn between the 4090 and the 7900. I'm not sure how the specs line up with that. I mean, if you're just like going full balling on it, it might still be worth it to go with the AMD one. I think probably the 4090 is probably gonna beat it by a little bit in most circumstances, but I think the 7900 XTX is gonna be way better, like, price to performance. Like, it might lose by a little bit, but it wins by not costing, like, fucking $1,800 or whatever the fuck the 4090 is. But also, I mean, if you literally just want the best one, then, like, you're not gonna go wrong with the 4090. It doesn't have any glaring issues outside of the price and how NVIDIA is acting. But, you know, you get good ray tracing, which is one area where AMD is definitely going to be losing still. It's getting better, but I mean, NVIDIA is leading the way there. And they have DLSS, or whatever the technology is called for the AI upsampling, which actually works really well. Now especially. When they first introduced it, it didn't work nearly as well, but it's like actually worth considering doing now, which is interesting. God, I really wish... I know I had this problem before as well. I wish Sarah B would have like a more zoomed out version when you're like trying to look for these. 1600 to 2000 is what you're seeing for the 4090. Okay, so yeah, I was in the ballpark. I thought I was exaggerating a little bit, but yeah, I mean, some of them are going to be crazy high ones. But yeah, I mean, if you're just looking for like pure best game performance, yeah, 4090 and the AMD 7800 X3D. I wish they would have like different naming conventions for their CPUs and GPUs. There, I'm specifically talking about the CPU there. For AMD and the NVIDIA GPU. But that is gonna pretty much give you the best gaming performance. It might be worth looking into the Intel, whatever the absurd i9 is, because maybe that might beat performance. The thing with that one is it takes a stupid amount of power. Like Linus Tech Tips with a 5,000 watt cooler, that being like a industrial cooler meant to cool like laser cutter machinery and that type of stuff. And they had to go with direct die cooling and like liquid metal thermal compound and just like crazy shit to finally like get that thing under control in terms of heat. Now, granted, like the AMD CPU or CPUs, the new Intel CPUs also will just like go up to their thermal limit and not give a shit. Oh, am I skipping? Yeah, I'm skipping past the one again. So like, you know, it won't, it's not like it's really thermal throttling, but it's, you know, the more thermal headroom you have, the higher it'll go for you. But it took like all of that like expensive, like tens of thousands of dollars worth of cooling to just to get it to the point where it wouldn't throttle at all. Like they were finally just limited by the silicon. The 13900K, yeah, it's something like that. I think it's specifically the KF, just because it doesn't come with integrated graphics. So in theory, there's just like less going on with it, so it should go a little bit faster if you don't need the integrated graphics. Which, if you have a 4090, why would you? But yeah, it might be worth looking at benchmarks for that stuff. With the AMD CPU that I've been talking about, that just came out recently. So I need to like go and look at those benchmarks again, because I wasn't even paying that much attention, honestly. You know, look more into it, yeah. But yeah, basically decide on that first, and then figure out what features you think you need in terms of like how many drives you're going to be putting into it. But realistically, a lot of that stuff, like again, the AMD, the B series boards that are supposed to be like more budget aimed boards, pretty much have all the major features that you want. So like, you really don't need to get like the X670 boards or whatever, unless like there's a specific reason for needing it. Is this one in the cave? I think this one's in the cave. Yeah, god damn it. Okay. One thing you do have to look out for is, I think the Intel boards still support either DDR4 or DDR5. They don't support both at the same time. But the newer AMD stuff is all DDR5 for RAM, so it's, you can't really screw that one up. And there's not really any reason to go DDR4. Right when the 5th gen, or whatever you want to call it, stuff came out, there kind of was, because it was still a little bit rough around the edges, but nowadays, over the last couple of years, it's basically like, yeah, there's no reason to stick with 4. But yeah, you definitely have a go DDR5. Yeah, just make sure that if you do end up going with like an Intel mother or CPU, make sure that your Intel motherboard is going to be the 5 board. I would assume more of the top end stuff is gonna be DDR5 by default, but just like double check that. But again, that's if you go Intel. I would go AMD on that, just for now. Because I do think the 3D cache helps with a lot of stuff, as opposed to necessarily just like throwing faster cores at it. But I was going to say, you definitely have a good case to start with, because I know that's one of like the most popular cases, the Lian Li. I've actually been looking at some of that stuff recently, because I might be building a computer for someone. But theirs was kind of similar, of just like, just go for the top of the line stuff. So and they were, in theory, going to need to do streaming with it. Gonna go AMD as well, as I don't need that intensive CPU. Yeah, but that's like also the thing, like the like in theory flagship CPU for the 3D cache ones, the 7950X3D, is like, it's a little bit worse for games, and in theory it's a little bit worse than the non 3D cache version of itself for like, you know, productivity stuff, if you're gonna like render or stuff like that, because it's clocked a little bit lower. But like if you're, you know, if you have a system that's going to stream and play games on the same system, like how I do it, then, even though I don't really play much PC stuff, but you get what I mean, then it's like, then that one can be really good for that. I hear you, yeah. It's just, it's a weird thing, but it's kind of cool, because it's like, there's actually a reason for the market segmentation besides just, you know, purely being a price thing. Am I not in the right spot? It should be. Is it not? Oh, is it maybe a little bit lower? No? Should be, maybe it might be lower and like hidden underneath. Oh, there it is. It should be the last one for this legendary as well. Then where's the shrine for this one? Wish it would show me where the shrine is as well. Here, I know I can pull it up from somewhere, though. Legendaries. Oh, no, it just shows the stakes again. Okay, that's not really helpful, guys. And the interactive map doesn't actually show them. Does it actually? Okay, it does. Cool. Chain Pow. That's the one I'm working on. Okay, so it's like over. Thank you for all the advice. I'm gonna get going. Have a good rest of your stream. Thanks for coming in, Bane. I do appreciate it, man. Hope you have a good night as well. And good luck with looking into your parts. Alright. I do think I have been going not super long tonight, but... Oop. Why did I go to boxes? I want a map. But I think I will just get this legendary here and then wrap up. So it's somewhere over here. I'm sure we can find it. Oh, I think I actually see where it was on the map there. But yeah, then we can maybe like get these after doing some raids tomorrow or something. Get the last couple of these. I thought there was another fast travel for these like windmills. Maybe not though. Or maybe there's just like a specific sign that I need to interact with to get that to go. Also, I need to actually like get all the Titans in my Scarlet save at some point. I don't know how much I care about that, but I might put them in like their own special box or something. Okay, so it's not right here, but I think it might be... I think I saw it on the map. Oh, you know what? I think it might actually be right in front of me. Right here. There it is, yep. Wish you could have shiny onto these legendaries. Yeah, that's another thing I wish Game Freak would stop doing. The, shiny locking legendaries. It was so nice in Legends, or not Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus had that problem. But BDSP being able to, like, even the mythic Pokemon you could shiny hunt. I'm trying to think of what was even shiny locked in B. I think it was only the gift Mew and the gift Jirachi. Were like the only things that you couldn't shiny hunt. This might have been a good one to run Magnezone here. I'm realizing now. Because of the ice typing. But maybe we'll catch it with a quick ball and it won't even matter. Nope. That was quick. Oh, this one has such a cool legendary, yeah, such like a cool, shiny. Yeah, there's a Spore. Oh, that didn't even do much, okay. But yeah, because it like turns all like brown. Okay, yeah, pretty much just have to Ultra Ball here. Turn 3. But at least with the sleep, it like doesn't get to move at all for usually 2, sometimes 3 turns. Always at least 1. Nice. So it might wake up on this next turn here. I don't remember if it... I think it... Yeah, so it might wake up, but it might not. Yep, there we go. It will wake up next turn, I do believe. But yeah, some of the legendary shinies, especially a Koraidon. Koraidon is such a good shiny. Because it's like all blacked out, kind of. Okay, that works. I guess we won't use any more Spore. Was that turn 6? Because we had 3 sleep. My Spore, my attempted catch. So we're on turn 6. They joined the club and got tier shinies? Yeah, for sure. Nice. This will be number 7. Either 7 or 8 or something. I mean, if I don't start using timer balls right away, it's not the end of the world. Though, actually, you know what? At this point, I think timer balls are better than Ultra Balls. So yeah, let me just start using them. Ultra Balls really are not very good at all. I say as I don't even shake once. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see when we get, like, the box legendaries or, like, these guys as shinies. It'll be an event, unfortunately. Well, and probably not, like, an interesting event either. But, you know, we'll get them. I'm just gonna let Amoonguss get knocked out here. I have plenty of Pokemon to throw out as fodder. Or I could just miss. Oh, I guess because it's Sucker Punch, so since I didn't attack, it didn't get to attack me. Alright, come on. I remember there was one of these guys that gave me some trouble. on Scarlet. Or like 1 or 2 of them, but then like the final 2 I got pretty much instantly. Hey, there we go. Very nice. Almost leveled up a Mungus too. Alright, 2 of the 4 down. Very nice. Let me just make sure those go into the correct boxes, because those are definitely going in Pokemon Home. And then we will wrap up for the night. Should have, yeah. Oh, I'm so happy we got this. I was really worried this was going to be such a pain in the ass. So yeah, I mean, we got all of our Paradox Pokemon shiny. Iron Valiant is in Scarlet because I had traded for it. Which is kind of a shame, only because it's such a good shiny. I think it's probably my favorite of the Paradox shinies, other than maybe Iron Thorns. Iron Thorns is pretty good too. Oh, you know what I didn't check? In fact, I didn't even check it on you. Let's see. I didn't check to see if these had marks. I might have checked it on Iron Shreds, but... oh, no mark. Obviously nothing for those two. But yeah, so we got all the Paradoxes. So, tomorrow, we're going to do the Typhlosion raids. Again, Annihilate seems to be the way to go on that. But there might be another strategy. If there is, I will make a new Pokemon for it, but otherwise I'll just use my Annihilate. And we'll just try and grind on that a little bit. Not a super long stream, probably about an hour, hour and a half, something like that. Kind of like the night. Night's more like 2 hours. Anyways. And then Saturday, we'll do Pokemon Stadium. We'll just do some randomizer stuff on that. Or random team stuff on that. See, you know, how far we get. Again, just kind of like my normal NSO stuff. Just kind of check out the game. And then Sunday, we're going to get into Egg Shinies, finally. I'm going to start breeding Paldean Tauros, the combat form. We'll just work on that, and then eventually we'll get that. That's going to be like my main shiny hunt moving forward, I think. Just we'll work on that, and then Blaze breed, and then Aqua breed, and then from there I'll figure it out, because it depends on when Pokemon Home is updated. But yeah, I mean, we'll still be trying to do, like, a Alolan Raichu, like, once a week. NSO stuff, once a week, maybe. And then just mostly egg hunts. But yeah, anyways. That is where we're wrapping up there for the night. So thank you guys so much for watching. I do definitely appreciate it. If you're watching this on YouTube, come check out the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/PanicCoastGaming. I try to stream every Wednesday through Sunday. Typically late night streams starting around midnight Mountain Standard Time. And going for like 2 or 3 hours, somewhere around there. And yeah, a lot of shiny hunting, a lot of Pokemon, a little bit of random Nintendo stuff. I might also be doing some more PC stuff moving into the future here, because I did realize there actually is a good way for me to limit frame rates on PC games that don't have a frame rate limiter, like American Truck Sim. I know that's such like a weird game, but God, it's just like such a chill game. It's really fun to play. Kind of do want to stream it, but we'll see. But, you know, we'll worry about that in the future. Anyways, the point is, a lot of stuff on my channel. So if you like Pokemon, though, especially, there's going to be a lot of it there. A lot of it just streaming. And, you know, it's always hyped to see the shinies live. So anyways, yeah. But if you don't check me out, just stick on YouTube or, you know, you don't stick around. I still appreciate the view anyways. Thank you so very much, guys. And I'll see you all next time.